The race for Tennessee's place in the Senate is the most expensive race in state history. Former Governor Phil Bredesen and Congressman Marsha Blackburn's combined campaigns now close to hitting $70 million. WBIR 10 News reporter Shannon Smith brings some perspective to us of those numbers. Shannon.
Well, Robin, it comes from a combination of money the candidates have raised as well as contributions from political action committees. But the number got us thinking. What would happen if the money was diverted to other organizations?
Almost $70 million to fund two candidates' campaigns is unheard of in Tennessee.
No, I'd love to have a client spend $35 to $70 million, but no, I've never seen anything like this.
Gary Drennan has done consulting work for about 100 political campaigns in East Tennessee.
So the biggest cost is certainly TV ads. They're spending money on digital advertising at this point in the games.
He says the money to fund their campaigns comes from more than one source.
You're seeing a lot of third-party spending, which means that there are no limits to the amount that individuals can give.
But if that $70 million was given elsewhere, what change could it make in Tennessee?
So Habitat in Loudoun County spends, to build a new home for somebody, they spend about $120,000.
That's about 583 Habitat for Humanity houses. $70 million can also pay 1 year of salary for 1,461 teachers, a year of groceries for 4,658 families, 1 year of tuition at UT for 5,382 students, and a year of utility bills for 43,942 families.
No matter how you slice it, there's a lot of stuff you could do.
So if so much direct good can be done with this money, why do people give so much to political campaigns?
Well, I think you probably see people that are doing both. They're probably contributing to these campaigns as well as making a difference in their community, and they probably see their giving to the campaigns as a way to impact their communities.
Gary Drennan says any donations from political action committees that are left over after Tuesday's elections will be held by them for future races. Personal donations will most likely be used up for one more week of advertising. Robin, John.
That money would be impactful. Thank you.